In this video, I'm going to show you how to apply for a sales tax permit in California and why you need one. Hi, I'm Josh from the University of Laverne Small Business Development Center. And here at the SBDC, we provide free one-on-one consulting and how-to resource videos just like this one. So consider subscribing to the channel. A sales tax permit, or seller's permit, is a requirement in California for retailers if you sell a physical product in the state of California. Is that all you say? Well, California also requires a seller's permit if you have inventory stored in California, you have employees like independent salespeople in California, or if you have a website that sells products in California. So now with all that out of the way, let's hop onto the computer and I'll get into the application for filing for that seller's permit. So here we are on the desktop, and we're going to head to our browser and type in cdtfa.ca.gov to get to the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration. So now that we're on the home page, we need to navigate to the actual application. So we're going to head to this register button just below the header and click register. Now that we have to go about halfway down the page to the register or apply for new, and then we're going to click business activity or location. We finally made it to the start of the application. This is the first page, and it's going to ask you what kind of business you are going to register. These are all the instances the state of California will require a sales tax to be added and paid to the state. We are just a small retail business, so all we have to do is choose selling items or goods in California to begin. Then we click Next. So now we need to answer a few questions about what we're selling. If none of this stuff applies to us, we'll click No and then Next. Here are some more questions about what we're selling. Again, none of this stuff will apply to us, but if it does to your business, click Yes and then Continue. Here we need to list our business type. If you saw our previous videos on registering as a DBA or LLC, you list that structure here. If it's a different structure, choose that from the list, then click Next. So here we are at the taxpayer information. Since you're an individual, you'll put your SSN first. Next, you'll put your EIN. If you don't have one, stop right here and check on my video on how to apply for an EIN. Then you can come back and we can continue. If you have that number, input it in the FEIN space. If you're a foreign or international seller, you will need to get some additional consulting help and contact us so we can help you with that situation. We will also put the driver's license number to verify. Since I'm registering in and I'm from California, we can pick California, choose whether or not we're switching from another business entity, and then click Next. The application is going to ask if we have a current account. This is to make sure that we didn't forget we had an account and we aren't trying to re-register. We don't have a current account, so we'll choose No and then click Next. So now you'll have a little summary. Unfortunately, this isn't the end. This is just having you review what permits you're going to be applying for and confirming. We definitely are doing the seller's permit, so if you have other permits you're applying for, you would choose those, confirm, and then we'll click Yes and Next. So this is an interesting question. It's a temporary permit. This is for pop-up shops and temporary stores, like at fairs or something. We're planning to do business for a lot longer than 90 days. So we're going to choose No, and then click Next. Here we are, we're going to be entering some information again. This form is the address of your business. If you have a physical address for your business, you can enter here, or an e-commerce store, and then we can choose if this is the business location, or if it's just a mailing or administrative address. So here we are at the taxpayer information. Let's fill all this stuff out and then we can choose Next. One will be for your records address if you don't have an accountant, and the other is going to be a mailing address. Then we're going to click Next. Now here are two interesting questions. If you'll be taking credit, then you're going to put your credit processor and account information. Likewise, if you're going to be making web sales for an e-commerce site, you'll need to put that information, and if it's a third-party processor like Stripe, we'll put in that information as well. We don't need to for both, so we'll click Next. The form will ask you for a NAICS code you'll need to choose for your business. We can find one online by doing a Google search, but since I know mine, I'll put it in and make sure it's right, and then we'll click Next. The form will ask you about certain products. If you click Yes, it'll determine that you'll need to tax certain items besides what you're applying for. Otherwise, we'll click No and then click Next. Remember that temporary permit question at the very beginning? This is where it comes into play. If you click Yes, then you will enter in your temporary location information and rent. We're going to be doing business at a permanent location, so we're going to click No and then Next. We'll put in the basic information for the address, then make sure the address is or is not the location of the business. Then we'll click Next. So here's where we'll enter our DBA information. In case you were wondering, this is where it'll be. We'll also put in the phone number of the business location, and then we'll click Next. On this page, you're going to choose when you'll start to be selling. If you choose a date in the future, it needs to have enough time for you to produce sales for the next quarterly filing. You will also need to enter in your estimated sales of the business. Now the next section will be the taxable sales. If you sell non-taxable items, you'll need to enter in how much of that you plan to sell. Since all of my products are going to be charged sales tax, we'll keep it all the same. You also need to agree on whether or not your sales could be zero. If you do, you can operate at a loss and not pay any sales tax. We will always sell something, so we'll put no on both, then enter in the description of the products we're selling. It doesn't need to be super precise, and then we'll click Next. On this page, you'll need to click both your addresses to proceed. One will be for your records address if you don't have an accountant, and the other is going to be a mailing address. Then we're going to click Next. Now, California requires that you input at least one supplier you do business with. I'm just going to enter in a dummy name to proceed to the next section. So here we are at the registration summary. We're going to choose quarterly as the reporting since it's the standard. Hey guys, Josh here. I just want to give you a quick note about the reporting periods. There are 5 different types. There's the quarterly prepay option, where you can estimate the taxes and pay them at the beginning of every quarter. The quarterly option, which allows you to pay taxes you collect at the end of every quarter. The monthly option, which allows you to pay taxes you collect every month. The yearly option, which allows you to pay taxes collected at the end of every calendar year. And a fiscal yearly option, which allows you to pay taxes once at the end of the year, which typically ranges from July to June of the next year. If you have any questions about which to choose, I did put some resources down below to get some more insight. I did want to clarify that real quick. So with that out of the way, let's get back to the video. Once we review all the information we've entered, we'll click Yes and Agree, and then Next. On this page, you will need to enter in the information if you are preparing this application yourself or if you have a preparer for you. Now this is the last page. Once you check the box and click Next, your seller's permit will be filed. Now remember, you will need to get a permit if you sell a physical product or are taxed by the state of California in certain instances. You can always schedule to meet with your SBDC consultant to find out what permits and licenses you'll need for your particular business type. Question of the day. Have you filed for your seller's permit for your business? How was your experience? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, give us a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to get alerted when new how-to videos are released. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.